Hi friends, welcome back. I hope you're going to enjoy today's session because I have something new that came onto the market that I have been testing out with the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine. I'm not going to try it out, I don't think, on the Gina K Intracut because Gina K recently came out with a good product on its own, and you'll understand why I'm not spitting it all out for the minute here in just a few seconds. So, today's card. I am using Spellbinders dies. There are 12 dies in this set, and it's called Autumn Sealed Sprigs. Isn't that pretty? And let me tell you, I was so impressed by their color scheme that I've kind of mirrored the same thing. So what I've done is I have taken my accent opaque cardstock. Y'all have heard me rave about it. I love it, love it, love it. 271 GSM. Great thickness, great weight. And I find that when I die cut from it, I don't have to do like 2 and 3 layers to get some body going. So I came in here yesterday and I took my accent opaque and I took a bunch of my Distress Oxide inks. I have used Rustic Wilderness, Fossilized Amber, Tumbled Glass, Tea Dye, so over here I started out with the Fossilized Amber, and it was a little brighter than what I wanted, so I went back over it with a layer of tea dye to kind of knock that yellow back and mute it just a little bit, and I was happy with the way that came out. I have also used a little bit of Spice Marmalade. Again, the yellow was just a little bit too bright, and I wanted it more in the orange tone. If you'll look here, you'll see that that oak leaf has definitely got some vivid orange going on. And so I've used that one. I've used just a little bit of ground espresso. And I have used just a tiny bit of Kitsch Flamingo for the flower. And you can see in testing out my sandwich for the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine, I have already been doing a little bit of die cutting. So let's get into this. Now the background for my card, and I haven't cut it down yet, I did take a piece of Very Vanilla from Stampin' Up. It's the regular weight, which is fine because this is just going to be the background. And I took the Retired Timber 3D embossing folder. Before I ran the Very Vanilla through it, I took Pecan Pie ink pad, inked up one side of the embossing folder, ran it through, and then I took my Distress Oxide spray, the Tumbled Glass, because that's the same color right here, and just put a little bit in the background. Not sure how well you can see that on camera, and yes, we will have to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'll do that here in just a minute, but I thought we would get started going ahead and showing you what I am up to. Let me try to move these pieces. I don't have these taped down because I don't really need to, but I do need to make room for the machine. Let me get that up here, and I'm going to show you exactly what I have recently acquired. In fact, I ordered it as soon as I knew it was a thing. So, do you see this? Magnetic mat from scrapbook.com. This gray side is the magnet, and you can already tell I've been die cutting into it, and you can almost kind of see where I did those flowers already, the 2 layers. On the back side, because you can use both sides, is the regular cutting mat, and you can kind of see the thickness. And at first I thought, I am not going to find a sandwich that this will work well with. So I took the platform for the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine. This is the thin die plate. If you need a little extra something, it is number 2. I just went ahead and turned it over. So I've got that. And then the magnetic mat goes down right on top of those two pieces. And then the only other thing I'm going to bring in is a well-used number 3 clear cutting plate, also from Stampin' Up. And we're going to get ready and start doing some die cutting. If I can pick this up without dislodging anything, and I immediately felt the slight pull of the magnetic mat. Will you never ever have to tape anything down? Well, no, I don't think so, because after you've done this for a while, even with a magnetic base, you're going to learn, you're going to have an instinct as to when you should probably tape down your dies. But let me make sure I've got everything exactly where I want it. And let's go ahead and run this through. It's going to be very smooth. You are not going to have to force it, although I do have to hold it down. And where it goes over the dies, you're going to feel it. It's going to get a little thicker right there. But it's a very, very safe, effective sandwich to use. So, am I in camera? Not too well. Let me move this up some so that you can see. Well, you know what? That one wasn't even placed over. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. Thought I had everything. Yours truly, still under the gun. Still under the gun. So I'm going to run that through very quickly. Yep, see, I could feel it. It was snug as it got to that die. But everything I have been doing has been coming out like a dream. I don't have to do the round trips or anything like that. I've already got pieces falling out. So let me put these over here on my mat. Okay. And I definitely want to get my little dies here put over in my little magnetic tray to the side. And get that off. Get this little piece off. And did that not cut? I was going to say, I know it was cutting like a dream before I got on camera. So, let me see. Did it cut? Did it not? It didn't on one side, did it? Alright, that's okay. I'm going to stick that back in there. That one did. And let me line that back up. Get that back in there. Okay, I did take my brushes last night to the kitchen sink. They had all been used several times, and it felt to me as though they were getting kind of gunky. I don't know what other word to use, but the stuff had definitely built up on the bristles, and I felt like they just needed a little bit of freshening up. Now, let me see what I've got here. Is that not going to cut? Okay, guys, off screen, very quickly, I went ahead and ink blended another piece of my accent opaque cardstock. We're going to do this again. I'm not real sure what I did wrong, but it didn't cut on one side of the stem to release it. And honestly, in checking it out, I kind of ripped it because that is such a skinny stem. So we're going to see how this goes because, guys, I got to tell you, when it comes to die making, Spellbinders aces it every time. Everything else I have die cut with has come out like a dream. So again, I'm not real sure if maybe I was trying to cut too much at a time. I do tend, when I die cut, to go really fast. So, all right, here we go. Let's see what happened this time. Ah, see, it's perfect. It's perfect. So, I think it was a combination of me going a little bit too fast, maybe. So, isn't that pretty? I love that. I love it. So, we're going to lay that to the side and get this die over here in my magnetic dish. And we're going to continue on, and I don't anticipate any issues. So let me grab another piece here and make sure I've got them centered where I've done my ink blending, where I want that to be. Good coverage there. Now I realize because these dies are so long, they're really close to the edge. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time running that through, and then I'm going to flip it. I'm going to rotate the ends and send it back through this way, just to make sure I get the top of that one. So yeah, I'm under the gun again, guys. When am I not? Oh my word. And yesterday I was like a cat on a hot tin roof. Kind of still am today. It's a busy, busy full day, and I really need to get going on everything. So let's see. Oh, isn't that pretty? Oh, that's so pretty. Ah, look at that delicate stem. Isn't that awesome? I loves it. Okay. And here's my orange. It's not a real intense orange, but I could always go back and ink blend more on that if I wanted to, but I kind of like that shade. I think that's great. Now, on the wheat, let me get this up here and show you what I'm talking about. Hold on, I gotta try to pick this up and get this aligned just how I want it. Got another one here. Right about there. Okay. So if you'll notice, it's darker where I went over the yellow with the light brown tone. Gotta sketch that down just a little bit. Maybe back that one up, but it's a little lighter around the edges, and I wanted there to be a little bit of color differentiation. Differentiation. Well, words are hard today. And hopefully that'll give us a little bit of contrast. I actually did, for the most part. I mean, somebody else already had this done, and if I hold this up, can you see where they've put those little pieces back behind, and they're a little bit lighter toned than the branches in front? But I thought this was such a sweet color layout, and so I am kind of mimicking it. Somebody kind of did that work for me. Is this the only color scheme you could use? Absolutely not. It is not. I'm just going to bring it back so it's right here. And move that one. Let's take this one out carefully. Carefully. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Oh my goodness. I don't have a sample card made with this. Honestly, I had forgotten that I had ordered that from Stamping Up. From Spellbinders. And it's a delightful, wonderful set. Love that. Alright, let's get these dies over here. Let's get these took off. So yeah, if you're wanting a magnetic platform for your Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine, Scrapbook.com's magnetic mat. It's new. It's only been out a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, not sure. Now I'm looking to make sure that I do have everything that I had laid out die cut. I think I do. And we will have to bring this back in one more time toward the end. Alright, let me get my little ink blended scrap pieces out of the way, because I've still got a little bit here and there I could use if I wanted to do another card. Okay, now I do have to cut, and if I can find my little trimmer. I'm loving this little guillotine trimmer. Love it. All right, I want my grain going up and down, and I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 so that it will do the whole card front. And that's going to be scrap. I did cut my cardstock 6 by 6 to perfectly fill that in, because sometimes when you're inking up the inside of an embossing folder, you're not real sure how, how evenly or how well. So I cut the whole 6 by 6 piece, and I put the ink blending on this front side here, had my cardstock here, and folded it over and ran it through. So something I don't do very often is that particular technique. Now, I have got a card base here out of thick, very vanilla. I had this half sheet left, and I have one more whole sheet. And once that is used up, even the scraps, I'll just get rid of it, unless I've got scraps big enough to maybe do a sentiment or something with. And then I do have a couple of packs of very vanilla, just regular weight, but I don't like using that regular weight for a card base. It just doesn't have enough to it. So now I'm going to check this out, make sure I'm good to go here, and I am. And I get my glue. I actually had to refill my glue bottle this morning. It was getting low. It was a little less than half. And I thought, no, I don't want to have to be standing here shaking it, trying to get the glue out. So here we go. So we're going to get this laid on here. Get it lined up. And I did dig out. This is the biggest block, acrylic block, that Stampin' Up! Makes. And it is the F block. If you do not have a stamping platform, maybe you've got some background stamps or some really long stamps that you need a really big block for, it's great for that. It's also great to kind of help hold down your little goodies. All right. Let's see what we can do to start putting some of this stuff together. Now, one of the things I need to find out is where exactly I want to glue this together. I'm not real sure how they did it. Does that need to stick up a little bit or come down further? Because it kind of looked to me as though, yes, something like that. What do you think? Where it's offset. So let me take a little bit of glue. That's why I love my fine tip glue bottle. I don't know how many of you have bought that Precision Glue Press by My Sweet Petunia. I am not going to order it. Not that I don't think it's not a good product. I do. I've watched so many videos at this point where people are using that. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there just to give that a little bit of stability on top. Hold that for just a second. Kind of let that tack down. There we go. It's gripping. And then we'll do the same thing on this one. And if I can pick it up. I love my silicone mat, but there are times when it will fight me a little bit. Let me see. I've got to get this one offset. And I need to come down a little further. There we go. You see the genius in how they did those dies? I don't want it that far down, I don't think. Let me see. Let's see what I can do here. There we go. That's looking better. Much, much better. And You wouldn't probably pick this for mass production, but that's okay. It's all right. Sometimes we want to do a little extra for somebody, right? We do. I'll put a little bit right here and right here. Yeah, I know, my nails. So I was out of town last week. I was due to go get another manicure last week, and it didn't happen. I couldn't get there before I left, and I do have an appointment later today. So we have got our oak leaf and our maple leaf, and I did go ahead in testing out the sandwiches, and I did cut the flower die twice. I would call this an intricate die. It was the first die that I even tried, and beautiful. See all that detail? Isn't that pretty? I'm going to put that over there, and we're going to get ready to glue this together. So let me get my glue right here, right there, and stick that on there. Okay. I'm actually pretty close to the very middle. I was actually going for looks and not looking at how it lined up in the back. Again, you will not fail with Spellbinder dies. Absolutely will not. Love them. I've never had an issue with their dies. I can't say that about every company's dies I have tried. Okay, I need this together right about there. Okay, put the glue on here. Like I told you, I don't have a sample card. I have not done this. And my Stampin' Up! Demonstrator told me about a lady named Dawn who just reached her 3 million with Stampin' Up! And I had to go look. I knew exactly who she was talking about. It was Dawn Griffith. So, congratulations to her on that. That is amazing. That is awesome. Now, I want... how do I want to do this? I'm thinking what I meant to do. I think what I meant to do was to do this one in that brown, because that is a single die. Let me fish that out. Let me find that particular die. So let me show you close up. So there's that die, and it does both parts at one time. And where did I put my scraps? Right here. And so I'm going to run it again over here in the espresso ink. I'm going to run it real quick off screen. I'm not going to bother trying to pick everything up. And all right, let's see what we got here. Okay. Well, part of it went flying out already. Part of it did. Okay, this piece here, I'm not going to use. I am going to use. Yeah, I think I'm going to use that one. And where'd the other one go? It went flying too as well. Okay. Now I can move all this back out of the way. You gotta love it when you don't have a sample card already put together and you've never actually put all this together. So, I think what I want to do, come on, is I'm going to poke these out. I'm going to poke them out of this one so that the yellow will show through. And I'm not sure if these are supposed to poke out. Kind of looks like they cut though. It does. Oh, they do pop out. Yeah, they do. To give you that extra dimension there. Okay. And did I get them all? Nope. Got that one. Got that one. I had 2 left. Sorry, guys. I know it's hard for you to see. And then the hard part is going to be getting these 2 put together. But I wanted the yellow in the background. And because I am using Barely Art glue, it's not going to show if I've got any extra glue anywhere. It will dry clear and it will dry matte. And then we're going to lay that right in there. No, we're not. They're showing it be the middle of this flower. So did I want the yellow and brown? I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. Alright. I've had 2 cups of coffee, and they were big cups of coffee. So, bear with me. Alright, so what do you think so far? You think that looks pretty good? I hope so. And I'm not real sure what to do with this. Do I want it darker? I think that's dark enough to show up on that background, don't you? I hope so. So, now let's start trying to get all of this arranged. So, my longer pieces are going to be my leaves, my wheat. I think it's wheat. I'm calling it wheat. Let's see here. And then I think that'll show up better on that blue. And I'm going to kind of sketch them in for a little bit of a tighter bouquet. A little bit. Kind of get this positioned where I want it. May end up getting my Gina K over here, putting a little bit of adhesive on the back to kind of get these arranged a little bit. These are starting to get lost. So, we're going to start out, and I'm going to start with these. And I am bringing in my Gina K because I have a silicone mat here. I know I can do this and get away with it. Am I in camera? Yeah. Good deal. So this is going to be kind of the middle. I'll lay that one there. Here is kind of the middle for this one, so that they're kind of together. And come up. Okay. I want my stems to have a place where they kind of crisscross on the bottom. You'll see why here in a minute. And I have another goodie from someone else to show you for the sentiment. Okay. Kind of want this up and out a little ways. I may end up having to go back and trim some of these. We'll see. We'll see. And you're seeing me do this real time, not having messed with it before. Okay, I'm going to put that one there. We're going to, how do we want to do this? I hope I don't need to cut more pieces because what they did looks really good on that package for the example. And that's going to come up. We're going to put our flower kind of right here in the middle. I hope this is looking good to you on the screen. Okay. And we're going to put that kind of right in the middle. It's got a little bit of thickness to it, a little bit of dimension. It's kind of standing out, so don't let that throw you. Just kind of look at that part right there. And then, now I've got to figure out where I put. I have got a stamp here. It's a oval thank you stamp, and it came from Sizzix. It's frameless with stamps, but it's actually called Layered Ovals. And I did get online yesterday, and it is still being sold by Sizzix. I think the first link that came up might have been scrapbook.com. The price was very reasonable. And I have all these little sweet, sweet oval dies, and they all have a different design in them. And these sentiments, and here's the thank you that's already mounted in my Misty. Sending hugs, celebrate all my love. And they fit perfectly into the dies. Now, I took one and did 2 of them out of regular Very Vanilla, and I glued them together so it would have a little bit more something something, because I didn't want to cut into my very thick. And just for the minute, let me cap this so that it doesn't dry up on me. And I'm trying to look and see. Yeah, we're going to take the smallest center die to die cut the sentiment after we have stamped it. Let me get this die back over with my other one so I don't lose it. And again, I'm going to take my VersaFine pigment ink for fine details. I really enjoy using this on script, especially if it isn't real thick script. The thank word is a little bit thicker than the U. And so with the U in mind, I thought, yeah, let's just go ahead and use this for the inking. Trying to get down whatever will come off. Okay. Do this one more time. Let's see what we got. Oh, that looks really good. Doesn't that look good? Can you see? Let me pick this up. Yeah, come on. Come on, fingers. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Love it, love it. There's a little something right there that didn't take, and I don't know, because I conditioned my stamp. I hadn't used this set, but a really good friend gave me this set some years ago. Probably a good 3 years ago. Gave me this set. Now I am going to have to take and make sure it's dry, because that is a pigment ink. It is not a dye-based ink. And so it is going to take that just a second. And I would hate to, at this point, mess that up or smear that in any way. Man, I've been loving this little tool. And I paid less than $20 for it when I ordered it off of Amazon. And it's one of those that it's got the curling brush attachments, 2 of them for the end, and just took that off. But I'm liking it. I've got a cool, I have a low, which doesn't get very hot at all, and then there's a high. And I always go to the low for the noise factor. That's part of it. I'm going to take my, so see there, see how it's still wet? So let's hit that again. A little bit more. Because I did ink that up twice. And it did put down some rich ink, which I wanted. You know, it seems like that old saying in life. I just find it's true every time I turn around. For everything you gain, you give something up. And I'm still seeing some shiny. I'm still getting some ink up. Okay. I don't want it on high. That's just too noisy for the video. And maybe I should have pre-done this part too, and I did think about it, guys. I did. Sometimes I think we I am very guilty of pre-doing things to the point that you don't get to see. You don't get to see the behind the scenes. Sometimes I think you need to. If you don't want to, you do realize that if you tap on the video and you find that little gear icon, that's your settings icon. If you're on a mobile device, you can hit that, go to playback speed, and speed me up if this is not to your liking. And does not insult me at all. So now, I still am getting a tiny, tiny bit, not like I was. So, I'm going to take a clean paper towel and just lightly press over that. I did not expect it to take this long. Okay, and let's go ahead and die cut this. And bring this back up and run this through. Make sure I'm lined up where I need it. I hate doing things sideways. Okay, so that's straight. I'm having a hard time moving the die. I'm trying to kind of move it a little bit. So, that's a good thing. I think that's okay. Hopefully my eyes aren't lying to me. Okay. I've got my stack of ink pads back here in the way. Alright. And yours truly went looking for some more black cardstock. I went looking for more black cardstock, and I'm just being honest, guys. I don't like Stampin' Up's black cardstock. I don't. It's not that it isn't a good black. It is a good black. It's not that it isn't a good weight. It is a good weight. But if I mass produce, and I have in the past, I have got little feathery bits of black cardstock everywhere. It makes such a mess. So I went looking, and sometime back I ordered Gina K's, and I loved it. Loved it. Nice heavy weight, nice black color, all the things. So this is Gina K's. You can see how thick that is. I'm not sure if it's 100 pound, 110 pound, and it's gorgeous and I love it. However, it is, because it is an excellent cardstock, it's a little bit more than I want to invest in for everything I do, especially if I'm layering with it. So, I dug out a piece of Stampin' Up's, and you can see they're pretty close in the black. They are. And Stampin' Up's is maybe not, it's not quite as thick as this, but it's still really good black cardstock. But again, when you're mass producing and you're using black cardstock, it was driving me insane, all the little bits, the fluff, the feathery, fine stuff, you know, almost like somebody had ground something up real fine and just sprinkled it everywhere. So I found this. It's not as thick. However, for a layering weight cardstock, it's wonderful. And the black is probably a little bit blacker than Gina K's or Stampin' Up's, but it's thinner, more affordable for, you know, using it on a card layer, that kind of thing. And I found it on Amazon, read the reviews, and this is the name of it, Titukia, 92 pound, 250 GSM. So it's not just super thick, but it was so much more affordable, and I will link to it down in the description below, so that if you decide you want to try a pack of this, you get Am I look? Oh yeah, 30 sheets. It was right there in front of my face. And I'm looking down here trying to read all the fine print. So 30 sheets, and don't quote me, guys. I want to say I paid maybe $11, but got 30 sheets. So I'm happy with it, at least so far. If that changes, I will let you guys know. All right, let me get this out of the way. Let's get this glued on here. And hopefully my color choices are working for the sentiment. And I'm not sure if I am going to, am I straight? I always have to pick things up, guys. I always do. I have to pick things up and kind of eyeball them this way. But I think that looks okay. Hopefully it does. And then I've got this. I'm trying to figure out how high up do I want it, and do I want to pop it up? I don't think I want to pop it up. Now another thing I did do is I took some of the twine from Stampin' Up and I made a bow. But I'm not sure how funny that's going to look since my stems aren't all together. And what I want to put it down here. Do I even want to do a bow? Do I want to put a bow under? I've never done that. That looks odd to me. I've never done that. Or do we just want to take it out of the equation? All right. Well, for right now, I'm going to glue it down. We're going to see what happens here. I don't have any layers cut to go on the inside of my card, because y'all know me. I don't know what I want to say until I know who is going to get this card. But I thought this was a sweet fall-themed thank you card. But again, you know, if you decide to go pick this set up, it wasn't a whole lot. It really wasn't. And to be honest, I was so surprised that it was still valid and still current to where you could order it. But I'm not sure what you guys think of this. So I wish we were live. If I ever get things settled down, I don't know how that's looking there. I really don't. Didn't have my glue dots out. So let's just see what we can do here. Kind of scrunch that up on the back. And putting that in the middle of the O in the word you. Mashing that down, looking to see if any of that glue dot is showing. It is not. It's not. And I do have my ribbon scissors laying here. So, well, I said I had my ribbon. Ooh, maybe they're starting to get dull. Gosh, I've had this pair for ribbon and the other pair that y'all see me use all the time for the paper. Oh, gosh, I know 5 years. Longer, I think, but for sure 5 years. And so, what do you think? Do you like this? I hope you do. I'll leave a link to that Spellbinders Autumn Sealed Sprigs in the description below. And yeah, theirs looks a lot more vibrant. They do. But hopefully I managed to put enough color in there. It does stand up on that background. Use any embossing folders you have, any ink you have. You will be fine. You may already have some kind of an oval die set in your stash. So anyway, guys, until next Friday, y'all be safe, be blessed. Know you are loved, and God is good all the time. Bye.